Okay, so I figured I'd just do the tutorial real quick now. So, just starting as if we're from scratch, first thing you're going to do is download your MySQL installer. You open that up, click accept, and once that's loaded, I'm going to go ahead and get canceled. So, notice my connector version is 832. Like, none of these matter. These can be the most updated versions, but your server, just make sure that when you click that, that or sorry, when you go to add or remove, make sure that you're adding the MySQL server 80.12. After that's done, you've got your server set up. You can open up Workbench, log in, and to get these tables, ignore the non-3030 tables. Those are for something else. But to get these tables to fully populate, what you're going to do is you're going to open up a SQL script. You're going to go to where you have your server. You're going to go into the SQL folder, and you'll open up one of these for each. And then you'll click the lightning icon next to it. And what that's going to do is that's going to put everything into your table that you need. And then you can, after that, you'll click refresh. So this was the game one. So that did everything for the game. So you'll come back in here, do login, open, again, do that. Here, let's go ahead and delete these just so we can start from scratch. So if you want to delete a schema, drop now. And we can do that to all these. There we go. Okay, so now we've got my AMU game, AMU login scripts. So we'll do AMU game first. We'll hit the lightning icon. Now it says it doesn't exist, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to create a schema. We're going to do AAEMU underscore game underscore 3030. For the fork of the emulator that we're going to be using, 3030 is required. And then you'll hit apply. Now we've got our table. Double click your table, click back onto the game tab, run that again. You'll notice that it's starting to populate everything. Okay, that's done. We'll click refresh, and now we've got all our tables. We're going to repeat that process for the login server. So AAEMU underscore login underscore 3030. Just make sure you spell it right. Hit apply, apply. Okay, we'll double click login, come over to the login schema we opened, run that. And so now we've got all these populated. So we'll refresh, we'll go to tables, and we can see our game servers now. So if you click the grid here, you can see the default game server. Now, if you're running on the same system that you're running the client, you can leave this as default. But if you're using a separate system, you need to make sure that you set the IP address to whatever your system's IP address is. And we'll just click off that, hit apply, apply, that's done. Now we can close this. This is pretty much good to go. If you want to add users, you can come over to here and you can type in ID2, we'll say username Zell, and then make sure that for all this, there's just something there. So just do zeros. That's the easiest way. Then you can come over and download the AAEMU tools, also from the GitHub. And you can use the password gen. So this is pretty simple. Open that up, and you type your password, whatever you want. And it's going to generate an encrypted password. Whoops, press the wrong button. Do that again. So it'll generate an encrypted password. So the server requires the passwords to be encrypted, so you can plug that in there. So we'll go here, paste, we'll hit save, apply. So now we've got a user account created with the username Zell, password that I wrote out just encrypted, and this is good to go. So we can go ahead and close that. Now we can go back to our server, right here. And so you've got login and game. So we're going to start with login. You're going to come down to the config file. You can open that up in your favorite notepad editor. Now, by default, these are going to be something like 127.0.0.1, or they'll be something like localhost. We're going to want to change those. It's going to be whatever your local computer's IP address is. So 192.168.5.1. And you're going to do that again for network, but we're going to leave the connections from MySQL to localhost. We do not want to change that. Now, if you set a separate password for your database that's not the default root password, you can change that here, as you see. And then we'll just do Control S, save that, and close it out. And then we can go back up, and we can do the same thing to the game. So come down, config, and again, make sure that all these IP addresses are changed to your system's IP address, and leave the MySQL one alone. And again, change the password for your database if you've changed the password, and you're good to go. So if you're using the version that we are, also make sure that it says AAEMU underscore game underscore 3030. So that tells it that we want to use the schema with that name. Save, exit. And after that, we'll go to this one because we've already got this one working. And you can sit there and launch your game. Just make sure that these are set up correctly. Yep. So I can come in now. I can launch my server. There you go. It's going to throw errors because that's not the right IP address. But if assuming you have the right IP address set, the server will launch just fine, and you'll be able to connect and play. Now on the client side, let's go ahead and minimize that. You're going to want to make sure that you use the fork for the 3.0 client. And that's going to be the fork from Yanglong Li. So if you click on that, you can scroll down and you'll notice that it says our project is mainly focused on version 3.0.3.0. So you can download the server packages from here. Just click the zip, download that, extract that, and that'll give you the folder that we saw with the config files. And as for the clients and launcher, you can come into Mega. So by default, it's going to take you to this folder, right? ArcAge or ArcRage 3.3. We don't want to use that one. So we're going to come out. We're going to go down until we see the Trino folder, and we can extend that down. We're going to click Tryon 3.x, and we're going to download the ArcAge 3.5.0.3. So this is the client that works with the current config, and that's going to give you the best success. So you'll download that. And on top of that, you're going to need the ArcAge or the AAEMU launcher. So you can go to Google, AAEMU launcher. It's going to be by Zamoris XYZ. So you'll click that. Go to releases, download the zip, and you're going to add that zip to your folder, to your games folder. So if we come into here, so I've already got it set up. So here's my game. And here is the AAEMU launcher. So in your AAEMU launcher, once it's done loading, so we'll come into here, we'll make sure that we set the IP address correctly, make sure that the path to the game executable is set correctly, and then click on here where it says Tryon. It'll most likely say Tryon 1.2. Just ignore that, click Auto. It'll detect the game version, and it should detect that it's using Tryon 3.5. So give that a sec to do its job. And now it's done. Tryon 3.5, save settings. And now you can put in your password, your username, and click play. If you have any issues, just leave it in the comments below, and I'll try my best to reach out to you.